He was too late. The mountain greeted the sunrise long before the rest of the world remembered morning. Mist drifted between ancient pines, wrapping itself around weathered stone pillars whose whose carvings had nearly disappeared beneath centuries of rain. Small streams carried clear water through the valleys, each bend producing a slightly different note until the entire mountain sounded like a quiet orchestra tuning itself before an unseen audience. Anonymous Cherry climbed alone. His boots were dusty. His backpack felt heavier than it should have, not because of what it contained. Okay, just had to check. Not because of what it contained, because of everything he believed he still lacked. Each step began with the heel touching uneven stone before the rest of his foot rolled forward. Loose gravel shifted beneath him. His ankles constantly made tiny adjustments to maintain balance. His breathing deepened as the elevation increased, and the cool air fueled his lungs with a scent of cedar, moss, and distant rain. He paused. His hands rested lightly on his knees. He wasn't exhausted. He was listening. Months later, he would have mistaken every elevated heartbeat for weakness. Now he understood something different. Every breath was information. Every muscle carried a story. Every hesitation revealed something worth learning. He closed his eyes. The internal grid technique awaken naturally, not as normal, not as glowing diagrams, as disciplined awareness. His breathing steady, shoulders holding more tension than necessary, right calf slightly tighter than from favoring his dominant side. Mind thinking about the future instead of the next step. He smiled, measured first. His words escaped his lip almost as a whisper. Don't judge the readings. He relaxed his shoulders. Immediately his breathing became easier. The climb itself had not changed. He had. The summon finally appeared. Not, it wasn't a palace, it wasn't a temple, it was astonishingly ordinary. A weathered wooden cabin overlooked a circular trading ground surrounded by smooth stones. A clothesline fluttered in the breeze. Freshly split firewood rested beside an axe. Someone had swept the dirt courtyard into neat concentric circles. The simplicity surprised him. Power, he recognized, apparently did not require unnecessary decoration. Before he could call out, a voice reached him. So, you finally made it, anonymous turned. A man in a orange training gi stood beside the cabin carrying two wooden buckets suspended from a shoulder pole. His expression was relaxed, warm, completely unthreatening, yet every movement radiated effortless balance. This was Goku Rap, a mentor inspired by the legendary martial artist from another universe, invited into the Rapverse to teach discipline rather than shortcuts. He smiled broadly. I was wondering how long it'll take you. Anonymous bowed instinctively. Thank you for agreeing to train me. Anonymous Goku rap laughed. Don't thank me yet. He nodded towards the buckets. Carry these. Anonymous blinked. That's the first lesson. That's the first lesson? I didn't say it was exciting. The buckets were full, very full. Anonymous lifted the pole onto his shoulders. The weight immediately compressed his posture. His neck stiffened. His elbows flared outward. His breathing shortened. He took one step. Water sloshed violently. Another step. More spilled over the edges. Goku walked beside him with his hands behind his head. Too much force. Anonymous frowned. I'm just walking. No, you're fighting the buckets. Hey, no, you're fighting the buckets. Anonymous looked down. Every time the water shifted, he instinctively compensated with larger movements. The corrections created more instability. The internal grid quietly reported the pattern. Observation, shoulders rising, jaws tightening, breath shortening. He stopped, closed his eyes, measured, released. When he began walking again, he didn't try to stop the water. He matched its rhythm. The buckets became calmer. Goku rapped, grinned. There you go. The strongest fighters aren't the ones who force anything. They're the ones who stop fighting what needs fighting. What doesn't need fighting. That evening, they sat beside a small fire. No training, no techniques, just conversation. Anonymous finally asked the question he carried all day. When do we start learning transformations? When do we start learning transformations? Goku, rap, poke, another piece of wood into the fire. When you ready. I came here because I want to learn them. I know silence. I know silence. The fire cracked softly. Crack, 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 crack. Finally, Goku Rap looked at him. If I teach you the first transformation before I teach you how to breathe, you will spend your whole life trying to overpower problems your mind could have solved. Anonymous lowered his eyes. The words settled heavily, not because they discouraged him, because they were true. The next morning began before sunrise. No energy blasts, no dramatic battles, only breathing, standing, walking, balance. Hours passed, then days, then weeks. Each lesson almost too simple, yet every movement expressed another unnecessary habit. Too much tension before striking, holding his breath during effort, moving his shoulders before his hips, looking where an opponent was instead of where they were going. Gradually, everything became quiet. His movements shortened, his reactions became cleaner, his breathing no longer interrupted his decisions. Only after months of foundational training did Goku Rap finally stand across from him in the circular courtyard. The morning sun had reached the edge of the mountain. Birds called, birds called from the surrounding trees. The wind carried the scent of pine. Goku Rap smiled. Now we begin. He stepped into a balanced stance. What I'm going to teach you isn't just a collection of forms, it's a progression. Each form solves a different problem. If you choose power without understanding purpose, you'll eventually lose both. He drew a circle in the dirt with his foot. First stage. This first stage is called base. It isn't your weakest state. It's the state that teaches. who you really are. Far away, hidden inside a fortress carved from black crystal, another teacher stood before another student, Frieza Rap, inspired by the infamous emperor from another universe, walked slowly around the Twilight crew. Dark Ember Rap, Rage Rap, Control Rap, Deception Rap, Doubt Rap, Twilight Zone Rap. He smiled coldly. Your enemy will spend years learning discipline. He folded his hands behind his back. So while he learns patience, we shall master precision. Across two distant worlds, two schools have begun. One built power upon character, the other built power upon domination. Neither side yet realized that one day their lessons would meet on the same battlefield. End of chapter one of book one, The Apprentice of the Mountain. Rap verse Chronicles. Chapter two, The Empty Cup. The mountain did not begin in shortcuts. It believed in reputation. Morning arrived slow, quietly. Morning arrived quietly. The eastern horizon softened from deep indigo to pale gold, and a cool breeze drifted through the pines, carrying the scent of wet earth and cedar. Tiny drops of dew clung to the blades of grass around the training circle, each reflecting the glowing light like a field of miniature stars. Anonymous was already awake, not because an alarm had disturbed his sleep, because his body had slowly begun learning the rhythm of the mountain itself. He sat cross legged outside of the cabin, his eyes half closed. He did not meditate to escape thought, he observed it. A thought appeared. I hope today I finally learn a transformation. He noticed it, he did not chase it. Another thought arrived. What if I'm progressing too slowly? Again, he noticed it. His breathing remained smooth. The internal grid technique quietly unfolded inside his awareness. Breathing, even, heartbeat, dot, dot, dot. Calm, shoulders, dot, dot, dot. Relax, attention, dot, dot, dot. Trying to leap forward tomorrow. He smiled. Not today. Not today. Not today. He whispered to himself. Today deserves my full attention. Behind him, the cabin door cracked open. Goku Rap stepped outside carrying two steaming cups. Without speaking, he handed one to Anonymous. The tea smelled faintly of ginger and mint. Neither drunk immediately. They simply watched the sunrise. Finally, Goku asked, what do you think of today's lesson? Me, what do you think today's lesson is? Anonymous took a careful sip. The next food? Goku chuckled. No. The cup? Goku looked down. The cup. The cup. What happens if I keep pouring tea into it? It overflows. And if I keep teaching someone who refuses to make room for the lessons, Goku lowered his eyes. It overflows too. Goku Rap nodded. Good. Today we emptied the cup. Foundation before the foundation. The training field contained no targets, no heavy stones, no practice dummies. Instead, Goku Rap had drawn a single straight line through the dirt. He stretched nearly 100 feet. It stretched nearly 100 feet. Walk it. Goku blinked. That's all? That's enough. He stepped onto the line. His right heel touched first. His weight rolled forward. His left foot followed. 3 steps later, he drifted slightly left. Goku, again, Goku Rap said. Goku, the Anonymous, returned to the beginning. Again, again, again. After nearly an hour, frustration quietly entered his mind, his thoughts. I'm capable of much more than this. Immediately, his breathing shortened, his shoulders rose, his stride lengthened. He stepped off the line. Goku noticed instantly what changed. What changed? What changed? I lost focus. No, you stopped respecting simple things. The words landed harder than any strike. The demonstration. Without warning, Goku Rap stepped onto the same line he walked. There was nothing dramatic about it. No glowing aura, no burst of speed, no impossible balance. Just perfect economy of motion. His foot landed exactly where they intended. His breathing never changed. His shoulders remained loose. His head stayed level. Even the tea in his cup he carried barely rippled. Anonymous watched carefully. He wasn't res- he wasn't impressed by power. He was fascinated by the absence of waste. Every unnecessary movement had disappeared. Even Goku reached the end of the line and he turned. That's base. Anonymous frowned. I thought base form was just my normal form. Goku rap smiled. Everyone has a normal. Very few have mastered it. The hidden cost of power. They sit beneath a pine tree. Goku Rap picked up 2 stones, one large, one small. If I throw this one, he said, lifting the large stone without learning balance first, he tossed it. The stone flew hard but cracked, striking another rock before rolling into the grass. He tossed the smaller stone. It traveled cleanly, landing exactly where he intended. Power amplifies habits. He looked directly at Goku. If your habits, me, he looked directly at Anonymous. If your habits are unstable, every transformation magnifies instability. Anonymous thought back to every time in his life where he tried to solve a problem by simply trying harder. The realization settled quietly. Strength has was never the first multiplier. Habit was the first comeback lesson. Goku Rap step finally stepped into a fighting stance. Calm. Go Anonymous smiled. Finally. He took his on stance. His right foot slid back, hand rose. Snake chi instinctively stirred inside him. No chi, Anonymous stopped. No internal grid. He paused again. No special techniques, only movement. Anonymous nodded. He stepped forward. A quick jab. A Goku rap wasn't there. Not because he was impossibly fast, but because he had moved before Anonymous finished committing his weight. Again, a hook missed. A front kick blocked. A spinning elbow, empty air. 5 minutes later, Anonymous hadn't landed a single clean strike. He bent forward slightly, breathing harder. Goku rap. Goku rap's breathing hadn't changed at all. What did you notice? Anonymous wiped sweat from his forehead. You're faster. Goku rap shook his head. I started earlier. The lesson of intention. Goku Rap walked back to the center of the circle. I think attacks begins with fists. He tapped his own shoulder. They don't. He tapped his hips or hips. He smiled. They begin with attention. He demonstrated slowly. Before his feet moved, his attention moved. Before his attention moved, his decision, his decision had already been made. His body simply followed. Your opponent doesn't see your punch first. They see everything that announces the punch. Anonymous eyes widen, his shoulders, his breathing, his gaze, his weight shift. Everything had been speaking before the strike had ever arrived. The assignment. As the sun began to set, Goku Rap handed Anonymous a small notebook. Its cover was plain brown leather. No symbols, no glowing letters. What's this for? Homework. Anonymous opened. The first page contained one sentence. Master your base, and every future form will have a stronger foundation. Yeah, go ahead. Okay. Yeah. I'm reading live reading. See, I got the lapel mic on my chain. Goku rap continued. For the next 30 days, I don't want you thinking about Super Saiyan. I don't want you thinking about Kaioken. I don't want you wondering when they'll come. I want you to write down these three observations every day. One unnecessary movement you notice. One unnecessary thought you release. One thing your body thought taught you today. Anonymous looked up. That's it? Goku Rap smiled. That's enough. Elsewhere, far away, inside the black halls of Twilight Fortress, Frieza Rap stood before Twilight Zone Rap's crew. The room echoed with the sound of heavy impacts. Rage Rap punched a steel pillar until it bent. Dark Amber Rap filled the chamber with black fire. Control Rap manipulated chains with frightening precision. 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 There we go. Precision. Control Rap manipulated chains with frightening precision. Freezer Rap watched in silence. Finally, he spoke. You're all obsessed with becoming stronger. The room became quiet. He smiled coldly. So, is your enemy? He began walking slowly between them. I intend to teach you something much more dangerous. Twilight Zone Rap folded his arms. What is that? Freezer Rap stopped. How to exploit the moment. When a stronger opponent makes one small mistake, a cruel smile crossed his face. Perfection is not required, only patience. High on the mountain, Anonymous closed his notebooks after writing his first observation. Low in Twilight Fortress, the enemy began studying the art of precision. The first lesson had begun, not in transformations, but in the habit that would one day decide whether those transformations became gifts or weaknesses. Thank you for listening to my latest book or saga of the rap verse. I'll be live again tomorrow. It's nice seeing you guys.